back on Get Up, and Lamar Jackson has high expectations for himself heading into year 8 after falling short of a Super Bowl appearance last year when the Ravens lost in the divisional round in Buffalo. Lamar taking a closer look at his leadership style ahead of the new season. Listen to what he had to say.
I'm really not outspoken, like being vocal with my guys, like, oh, let's do this and that, or got a great motivational speech. I don't have that. You know, I just pretty much lead by example. I go out there, I'm gonna work hard. I expect that out of you. But as I've been growing in the league, it's like, nah, you gotta talk to the guys. Coaches and stuff like to tell me, like, talk to the guys. I'm like, all right. Now I talk to them one-on-one, but certain things I'm seeing, I gotta voice it more. I gotta voice my opinion more to those guys.
So, just to clarify, that was on the Cold Tub, Kevin Hart's show, Cold Tub.
In case it wasn't clear, yes.
Kevin obviously stealing our original idea for our set, so we couldn't use it. We had to pivot to this. But anyway, Kmart, what's your reaction when you hear Lamar talk about
Number 1, love his fresh blowout. Number 2, love that he feels more empowered, feels like he wants to take on more of a leadership role. But I kind of watched that and thought, okay, leadership wasn't really your issue. Like, for the Ravens, it is literally in the fourth quarter, in overtime, close-out games. Catch the ball, son. Like, actually do the job. Finish. He talked about that when they reported for minicamp. He said, we just need to finish. And he watched the Buffalo game in the divisional round. And he said, we just missed opportunities. That, to me, is the biggest issue with the Ravens. They don't have a leadership void at head coach or quarterback. It is just do the fundamentals and do them well.
Harry, you agree?
Yeah, it's the self-inflicted wounds for the Baltimore Ravens. And this is a team on paper. They have everything to win a Super Bowl. They just need to go out there and do it. When you look at the divisional round versus the Buffalo Bills last year, it was the interception by Lamar, the sack fumble by Lamar, the fumble by Mark Andrews, the drop on the two-point conversion by Mark Andrews. The previous year in the AFC Championship game versus the Chiefs, it was Todd Monken not running the football, doing what they did the entire regular season. It was the turnovers. 3 turnovers versus the Chiefs 2 years ago, 3 turnovers versus the Buffalo Bills that led to 10 points last year, and they lost by 2 points. So it's the self-inflicted wounds. And if you're John Harbaugh, you have to say to yourself, what do I need to do as a head coach to make sure that we stop these self-inflicted wounds and in the biggest game of the year, not have these mistakes happen over and over again?
I mean, D-Wood, I was at the game. Like, the Ravens didn't turn the ball over all year, and then they show up in this game and they start fumbling. Like, what's the deal?
I'm not going to overcomplicate this at all. The Ravens need to play the way that you play in the regular season. Literally, that's it with the Baltimore Ravens. If you play the way that you play in the regular season, carry that to the postseason, more than likely, you will find yourself in the Super Bowl. I don't know what's going on as far as preparation or is the game too big, but it just seems like there's a Jekyll and Hyde in how they play between the regular season and the postseason. They just got to get that fixed and they'll be fine.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it just didn't make any sense, like, for them to show up and start fumbling when it wasn't a problem they had all year. One of these years, maybe it works out for them. We'll see. They continue to be a top contender as we head into this year. We're going to start a feature now called Burning Questions. We're going to do this for every division here over the next couple of weeks, and we're going to do AFC South today. One burning question for every team in the division. Harry Douglas, how good will Cam Ward be in year 1 for Tennessee?
As good as his veteran wide receivers allow him to be. The Tennessee Titans, they revamped their offensive line over the last 2 years. But when you look at these veteran wide receivers, Calvin Ridley and also Tyler Lockett, who they signed from the Seattle Seahawks, those guys are exactly what a young quarterback needs. Veteran guys who have a lot of cachet in this league and made plays. So Cam Ward will only go as far as those veteran receivers allow him to be.
E. Wood, the Texans made a lot of changes on offense, new receivers, a new offensive line, Nick Chubb. Did they get better or worse around C.J. Stroud?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
That's fine.
To be honest
That's
with
fine.
you. Because, listen, we know they got a new offense coordinator in Nick Caley coming over for the Rams. They literally have changed over their offensive line. Obviously, Laramie Tunsil, they traded him to the Washington Commanders. The biggest question for me is, what is this offensive line going to look like? They were bad last year, and I have no clue what they're going to look like this year.
Yeah, and a lot of changes, but I guess considering how bad they were, a change might not be a bad thing. Jacksonville now, D. Wood. Will new head coach Liam Cohen bring out the best in Trevor Lawrence?
He better. That's why he's there, right? Trevor Lawrence, we came into this year, last year, everyone thinking, okay, Trevor Lawrence is going to bounce back, whatever. This man is number 1 overall pick, is getting paid a boatload of money.
Sure.
That is the reason you are there. You are there to rehabilitate Trevor Lawrence. If we don't see some type of return on that, man, it's going to look ugly in Jacksonville.
And now to Indianapolis, the Colts, Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones, quarterback competition. Richardson already hurt. Harry, it may be too soon to ask this, but was Anthony Richardson a wasted draft pick for Indy?
Ross, I think it's still to be determined. Now, it's trending in that direction because the 2 years that Anthony Richardson has played for the Colts, he's only started 15 games. He hasn't looked good out there in the football field. He's been injured. I think it's entirely too early, though, to just say that, they missed on him right now.
It probably is too early. Well, hopefully he gets another chance to show what he can do, but the offseason injury not this year. Would you believe that?
I actually would believe this. I think New England is vastly improved, and I think particularly on the offensive side of football, we know they brought in Stephon Diggs, who's looking like he's coming back healthy off of the ACL. They improved the offensive line. But I think the most important part of this whole thing, getting Josh McDaniels back as the offensive coordinator, I think New England is going to make the playoffs this year.
That's the AFC East. The NFC East hasn't had a repeat champion in 21 years. So would you believe that the Eagles don't win it this year?
I would not believe it. I still think the Eagles are the class of the division. I know they got a change of the offensive coordinator, Patullo, the offensive coordinator, but when you still got the same cast of characters back, Saquon Barkley, one of the best offensive lines, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and obviously Jalen Hurts at the quarterback position. I still think it's the Philadelphia Eagles division to lose.
Yeah, the Philadelphia Eagles still loaded, that's for sure. Would you believe the AFC West has a different champion this year other than the Chiefs?
This was a tough one. I would say I would not believe that. I still think the Chiefs are the class of this division. They have improved. I think they've improved along the offensive line. They're going to get Hollywood Brown back. They're going to get Rashid Rice back. Okay, and then when you got Patrick Mahomes, that's always the biggest factor in this whole situation. I do like some of the improvements of some of the teams in that division, but ultimately I have the Kansas City Chiefs winning the AFC West again.
Yeah, Harry, that division, they put 3 teams in the playoffs last year. It looks like Denver and the Chargers made improvements. The Raiders hired Pete Carroll to be their head coach. Is this the toughest the division has ever been for Patrick Mahomes?
100%. And Gross, I'm going to take it a step further. For the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career being a starter for the Kansas City Chiefs, this is the year that the Chiefs will not win the AFC West. I have the Denver Broncos winning it. And it's because of the upgrades that they made on the defensive side of the football. They went and got 2 guys from the San Francisco 49ers who can play at a high level, and Hufanga and also Dre Greenlaw at the linebacker position. 2 glaring needs that I thought that they needed coming into the 2025 season offensively was the running back position and the tight end position. They went out and got Evan Ingram, and they drafted R.J. Harvey from Central Florida, who only rushed for over 1,500 yards and 22 touchdowns in college. So I like the upgrades. Bo Nix did a great job orchestrating a very difficult Sean Payton offense last season, and I expect them to improve and actually win the AFC West in 2025.
Kimberly, that would end quite a long streak of the Chiefs winning this division. You buying it?
I get it. It's summertime. Harry needs, he's got to give us some stuff to talk about. He's got to give us. But my thing is, I think there's a difference between saying that the Broncos will be much improved. I'm a huge Bo Nix fan. I love his kid. I love his moxie. I love the way he plays. That defense is legit. I think they'll take a step forward. But if you were going to ask me, who do you think is going to win the division? Do you trust Bo Nix versus Patrick Mahomes? Do you trust anybody in that division at quarterback against Patrick Mahomes? The answer is no right now. I think people are waiting to predict the end of the Chiefs sort of reign. And I get it. Good things don't last forever, but I still think, and keep in mind, I was in Kansas City recently. The fact that they got embarrassed by the...
mình sẽ hướng dẫn các bạn
Sang
làm.
ở kia đó. Nó ở đây. Đây quá. Tất người sẽ có. Đó. Rồi bắt te hóc.
Tôi hay không đàn nữa. Chả liền, chả.
Đường chỉ đen. Anh sẽ bảo là đường chỉ đen.
Nó bảo á? Bảo lúc nào?
Bảo lúc nào.
Béo. Nhưng mà kiểu nó vòng nào ra vòng đấy